Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattle Tales from the Vector. Hi Stella. And this is a general or collective reading, so just be aware parts of it may or may not resonate with you. This is also a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, it's the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it has been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then? That could give you further clarity as to your situation now. Just got to double check here that this is good. Yes, you can see it all. Okay. We do have, I did a little meditation before this reading because sometimes it's just more fun to do it that way. And the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck was the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands energy is representing the element of fire. It's about taking passionate action. And the Knight of Wands would, of course, be working for the King of Wands. This energy is about, the wands are made of wood, and wood fuels fire. So this is talking about passionate action. The Knight of Wands has this big red plume on the back of their hat, showing that, they can be impulsive and even hot-tempered, but they have learned to rein their emotions in so that they can be the best person that they can be, make really strong decisions instead of making impulsive ones or making, emotional choices that they later regret. And this is talking about that's the kind of energy you want to be in right now. We have the pyramids in the background. So this energy is talking about loving to travel and new adventures. This is someone who, this is representing, one of the wonders of the world and wanting to explore those wonders. This is talking about the horse represents heartfelt energy and passion. This is very much a Sagittarius energy, and we did just have that Sagittarius full moon on the 31st. It was a blue moon. Some of that energy is easing off a bit, but it's been pretty intense emotionally. And I've noticed there's been a lot of sirens all over the place. There's all sorts of wild and crazy things happening at this time. You may have noticed that in the news. And more so than usual. And so this energy is talking about a rebel with a cause. And this energy is, as I said, very much Sagittarius energy. That blue moon was in the sign of Sagittarius. It's talking about using your intuition as well as your logic, so that you can, feel for the answer as well as logically come to an answer for creative solutions. Also, this energy represents the fire horse energy. On February 17th, we moved into the Chinese New Year of the fire horse energy. Very, very similar energy to this. And it's just coming up when I was meditating on this, that this is not a good time to be impulsive. It's not a good time to let your emotions, especially if you're angry about something, take you down the wrong path kind of energy. The fiery horse energy is very, very similar to Sagittarius energy. And it's the cautions that we have, pretty much everything I described before this is talking about that energy. But the thing to know about the fire horse energy is impulsive energy is not going to work very well for you all year. We'll be in the fire horse energy until 2027, February 6th of 2027. And this, you think about a horse that gets spooked and they get the bit in their mouth and they take a run. They can take you way off your course, and you'll be lucky you're hanging on for dear life. If a horse gets the bit in its teeth and chomps down on that, you're not going to be able to control that horse. And so it's talking about that type of energy, avoiding impulsive actions that could lead you way off your path, and also being careful not to burn the candle at both ends. This energy really makes us want to make very high, have high aspirations, which is really good, set really high standards, high goals. awesome, but it's also saying make sure you give yourself a reasonable amount of time to accomplish it so that you're not burning yourself out before you get to the finish line. And then and this is one of my paintings from my Oracle, Tales from the Vector. This one is actually about surrender. This is the psychic cleanse. It's talking about, using that intuitive energy as well as the logic. And also this sometimes this surrender is talking about surrendering to both of the feeling in your heart and your intuition as well as your logic. So it's about using both. And it also can indicate that, especially during this once in a blue moon energy that we've been in, it can really be a very psychic time. The intuition's very high because we've had 2 full moons in 1 month. And this is one of the visions that I saw when I was in Peru in ceremony with the shaman. Okay, so we have 2 of Cups energy. So the 2 of Cups represents a soul connection. This is talking about these 2 people coming together. It's considered like an agreement between souls on a spiritual level to come together in this lifetime and empower each other at a time. It's kind of, it's representing 2 people who really have a lot to enjoy each other's company, and so they make an agreement that, hey, we'll hook up when we're towards the end of our journey or during it at some point, and we will empower each other and just have some fun together. And this is talking about being high in connection with the higher self network. This is HSN, and it's being on HSN is similar to being on the internet. The very big difference is when when you're on the internet, you log on and you log off, so you know when you're on and off. But on the higher self network, you could be you're on 24/7, whether you're aware of it or not. So this is speaking to a very strong connection with source energy, and also a strong connection that's very healing for these 2. Quite often, this can be like someone that's very different from the usual person that you would date. And it quite often it is a romantic relationship, but it doesn't have to be. And it does say now that you have a Page of Cups here, and this is saying that someone has their eye on you. The pages would work for the King and Queen, and they would be a younger version of the Knights. So they would start working for the King and Queen quite young, around 7 to 14 years of age. And their job would be to, deliver communication within the palace walls, do small tasks, errands, etc. That may sound really young, but you have to remember back then the lifespan was about half of what it is now. So people were, worked way earlier than they do now. And this energy is talking about some form of communication coming in. It can sometimes be significant because we already have a page and we have another one here, but we have 2 pages already here and a knight in the first few cards. And so the pages, this can sometimes represent that this communication or information may be coming in from a time when you were like around 7 to 14 or 14 to 21. So that would be like elementary school, high school, when you first start college, that kind of energy, that age group. And sometimes it's significant, sometimes it's not. This can also represent someone, like from your childhood, basically, that is some information coming in from a time where you were that age, or it can represent, but it also represents having like that optimism of youthfulness, no matter what age you are. And, in this Page of Cups, he knows that there's plenty of fish in the sea, but he's very focused on this one. So this is representing someone that has their eye on you, or you have your eye on someone. And it's probably this energy here. We have the energy is the communication could be many forms of communication. In the old days, this would always be a male, and it would always be in person. But all the tarot cards are archetypes, so they're not gender specific. This could be a female or a male, in youthful energy that has their eye on someone. And sometimes this could represent, these days, there's so many ways of communicating. So this could be maybe a delivery of flowers, or maybe this is representing online dating. It can also be talking about, a phone call, a text message. Maybe there's an email comes through. Or you might be on social media, someone messages you, or you see an event posted. So you go to that event, and next thing you know, you're bump into someone in person, and you're like, oh, look at that. you catch each other's eye, that sort of energy. So the Page of Cups, that's talking about communication or information coming in regarding this cup of love, but it's also talking about the Knight of Wands. That's the underlying energy here of some communication coming in about passion. And then we have the Hermit. So the Hermit represents someone who's been in the dark night of the soul, which is when something has happened and it's really shaken your foundation, which is not unusual for this energy to come in at that point. This is the Hermit climbs to the top of the mountain so that they can basically surrender. And that's what this is about, like being able to just go inward and be able to really see what is going on in your energy. What's your heart telling you, and what is, if you have, maybe your ancestors are trying to reach you, it's that type of energy. And then so the Hermit climbs the mountain, and he wants to commune with God. He wants to get to higher source energy, and he wants to ask the Most High for advice. And so when his lantern is full of the light of the North Star, he then climbs down from the mountain and he takes action. Then we have the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Cups energy is talking about one of the four queens in the tarot. Now she is representing a cup of love, so this could be an energy of one of these two people. And it sometimes represents the maternal bloodline, DNA, adoption, things like that. She's the most maternal of all the queens. So if this queen would be the most likely to be in a traditional marriage, and she has a huge cup of love here. So this is someone, that would be like more like stay-at-home mom, trad wife, that type of energy. Someone who really loves to build, make a home and cook, and loves the children, and has the neighbors' children over that kind of lifestyle. And she is her cup of love is like a huge trophy, and it has a lid on it. This is saying that she is a container of unconditional love, and so this could be who the I feel this might be this energy coming in from the fire energy. We don't know for sure as of yet. And then offering a cup of love. It's hard to say yet. We don't have enough cards out. And then, but it's interesting because this is a Sagittarius energy, and this is also a Sagittarius energy. And that most likely could be because of that full moon that we just had in Sagittarius, the blue moon. And this is talking about temperance. So temperance is about having patience, and not, again, being like learning to control your temper. And in the Bible, it talks about how important temperance is, and there's different levels of character, basically. And it's, someone who can't control their temper is on the lower scale. It's important to control those impulsive actions that come from when you're angry in particular. And also this is talking about having the patience to stay on your destined path. This is the path of glory. The sun here is representing that destined path. The path of glory is God's path, like your divine mission, basically. So in the Bible, it also says that there's 144,000 angels that God sends down to earth, and that they are adding their own special qualities. It's like someone with a high spiritual vibration that is adding their own special qualities to the universal pool and then grounding that on earth. So this left foot is where you notice where it's grounded on the earth, there's already beautiful flowers growing here. So a lot of people feel this card represents the earth angel energy. And then look at this. We have I'll put it here for a minute, the Page of Wands here. And the Page of Wands is a younger version of the Knight of Wands. So this would be the same person. That's kind of interesting. So the Page of Wands, again, is, the younger version of the Knight. And he must, if the pages were like really doing a good job, and by the time they turned 21, if they had enough money to pay for a horse, sometimes they were considered for knighthood. And so he must have been successful in that. This is when he was younger. So this would be 7 to 14 years of age, and this would be over 21 for sure. But it's the same energy. So this would be someone that worked for the King and Queen of Wands for probably, I don't know, like, a good 25, 30 years, maybe even. And the page, he has a feather in his cap because, of course, it's a huge coup to be a page. Your lifestyle would be way better than the average person. He's dressed in finery. He's, and look at, do you notice the pyramids here are close to him? So he's wanting to explore them, but now he already has here. So this is about broadening his horizons. Now he's traveling far and wide. This is still traveling in the kingdom. And notice that they both have this tunic on, and it has these salamanders in a circle and lions on it. That represents protection from fire. So the thing to know about the Page of Wands, this is talking about this love, cup of love here is very passionate. The Page of Wands is really admiring his wand. He is looking up to it. And so the thing to know about the Page of Wands is he has a tendency to be thinking with his little head. So sometimes you have to take whatever information he brings in with a grain of salt and then check it out, because quite often he has his mind on other things. Think about a young masculine energy, Are you all weird tonight, Stella, again? You're making all sorts of weird noises. Hold on a second. We're going to move this up here a bit. All right. Okay, so now we have this energy. This is basically, I'm building a pyramid here. And this is about what we're working with this reading. And so we do have a soulmate energy coming through. They already have their eye on you. Maybe both of you have been through the dark night of the soul. We have the Queen of Cups energy here. So this is, having like unconditional love for each other. And this is Earth Angel energy. So there we have it. And then we have the Page of Wands saying that this love is very passionate, and, it's kind of, and it's interesting because this is someone that maybe possibly you've known since you were young, or it just can represent the youthful energy, but like this is the same person here. All right, but the energy here is being left out in the cold. So all of a sudden we have a bleak. That's how the tarot readings go sometimes. We're going along just fine, and then the next thing you know. But this could be talking about the isolation. So this card is representing people who have been left out in the cold. And there's only 5 pentacles here. Pentacles in tarot represent the energy of your health, wealth, and happiness on 3D. And, the pentacle is, the element is earth. And so it's about matters of earth and earthly matters. It's talking about, of course, money is a big part of that. So it's shaped like a coin. But you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle that you want to live. If you don't have your health, you don't have, love in your life, you're like this, destitute. This is not a productive lifestyle. It's not a desirable lifestyle. There's only 5 pentacles between them, so they're homeless and they're out in the cold here. This one doesn't even have shoes on their feet, and this one is on crutches and has a plague bell around their neck. In the old days, when there was like plagues going around, they didn't have apps, so instead they would isolate people from society by hanging a big bell around their neck, and you could hear them coming then, so that when this person was coming to town, people could run the other way and get away from them, so that they didn't have to have anything to do with them, which of course could make it very difficult and challenging to get a job or get groceries or whatever that is. So this card quite often represents a concerted effort, to maybe tactics being used to put someone in this situation, or someone's. And this is talking about the energy of, when it first starts snowing, it's really pretty. And the snowflakes are really, like, oh, aren't they beautiful? But after, a couple weeks, a month, a couple months, and it's really, really cold, and you're homeless like this, it becomes very challenging. And so anyone can handle a flake or two, but when a whole bunch of flakes pile up and do their best to put someone in this energy, through gaslighting and defamation of character, that type of energy, then if you can't even come into town without everybody running in the wrong direction, how are you supposed to get a job and be able to, support yourself? And then we have this energy here, and it's talking about the 9 of Cups. This is talking about someone who possibly is a public figure. This could be, you have a public platform, you work for the public. Sometimes this could be someone who's in office, a politician working for the people. This could represent, people that are give speeches for a living, or entertainers, musicians, whatever this may be. But what it is saying is that, there's 9 cups here, and we can't tell if these 9 cups are lined up on a shelf behind him, above his head, or if he's behind them. So this could be past, present, or future energy. This 9 of Cups is saying that you're very close to having all the love that you've wished for. And so that would probably be this energy coming in, and it may not feel like it if you're here, but this energy is also, this person, what it's saying is you have to maintain your focus, because you're almost there. Don't give up now. Like, don't just say, oh, okay, I'm done. You want to keep going. And this person's used to being successful. I mean, they have, but you can see that they're losing their focus a bit, and just their body language is a little bit incongruent. Their feet turned out like this represents masculine and feminine energy leaking. So it's like about losing power from the base chakra. And the base chakra is responsible for, having a good, like, survival and thriving in the 3D and the physical. And we also have, his upper arms here are almost like a genie's. He's making an infinity symbol with them. So it's talking about, there's a lot of potential here to get what you want. It's saying stay focused, stay in the game. Don't get distracted now. Many a race is lost in the last lap. And we have the King of Cups energy coming in. Now that's interesting, because then that would say that this is a couple. This could be talking about this couple. But I feel like lately this couple has been showing up in the readings. And it feels like this is on the dark night of the soul energy. So I feel like this is something to do. There's like a couple, And this can represent your maternal energy, and this can represent your paternal energy. The King of Cups is Pisces energy, basically. This is someone who is very good at controlling their emotions. This is, more of an authority figure. Again, this would be the most traditional of all couples. The King of Cups is most emotionally available of all the kings because he has learned from life experience to really take a hold of his emotions and be able to handle those in a strong way, which makes him much more emotionally available. And it looks like there's some chaos here, and even around the Queen, you see it. There's this, it almost looks like water coming up, creeping up onto her throne here. And so this energy, when we have this like rough water in tarot, it represents volatile emotion. And it also represents this energy of maybe a chaotic time and needing to keep your emotions in check. So this is, saying, again, this keeps coming up. Keep your emotions in check. Keep your emotions in check. Discipline your mind. Make sure that, it's good to be passionate and in this fiery energy, but you don't want to lose control of your emotions. Be more like the King of Cups right here. So he's going to wait here. And you notice his right foot is forward and he's ready to move forward and offer this cup of love. This could be talking about someone, your father. This could be talking about, someone down your father's side of the family, the paternal side. It could be speaking of a grandfather, a great-grandfather that has a gift for you. This could be, what else? Like uncles and brothers, cousins that are male, whereas this could be the maternal energy. So this could represent your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents. That I'm picking up, it's more that energy because it's just sitting here talking about something that caused the dark night of the soul, and the rest of the cards are kind of all about this passion. It's just in here, basically. So what's going on here? Could it be that this couple was isolated? Something happened that caused isolation and they weren't able to keep their focus, and that's what caused it? I don't know. Something's going on. And then look at, we have another page of coming out here. So that's already 3 pages. And so there's a lot of communication coming in. So this is about the pentacle energy. So yeah, see, this is what I feel like. I feel like this energy is all talking about something that happened in the past in your family. And it was something that created a dark night of the soul for not just you, not your parent. Like this could represent your parents' energy. And what's really interesting is I feel like that energy of Uranus being in the sign of Gemini, which it just moved into the sign of Gemini. When was that? It was around, Uranus moved into Gemini. I think it was like about a month ago now. And Uranus is in Gemini, seeks truth. And Uranus, the last time Uranus was in Gemini was in 1941 to 1949 during World War II. And I'm feeling like there's some sort of energy around that, what was going on in World War II energy, similar energy to, like there's something about that. And so that was the last time Uranus was in Gemini. And now Uranus is going to be in Gemini for the next 7.5 to 8 years. And it's almost like the truth is just like Uranus and Gemini insists upon truth. And I feel like there's just like, whoa, there's some wild truths coming out. Like there's some crazy energy out there on the internet right now. There's like a situation, and I have finally had a chance to look at it because I was like, what is with all this Lego energy on the internet? You got to check it out. It's like unbelievable. Like there was actually a SWAT team and there was all, and I'm like, I haven't had a chance to look at it fully, but it's almost like watching a movie. And that's like the strange, you know, the truth can be stranger than fiction. So I feel like there's a lot of strange truths coming out that people are like, what? It leaves you scratching your head. Like, how could this be possible? Like, you know, it's just wild. Like, and I feel like that's that Uranus energy. I'm all for it. I find it really, it's good. Let the truth come out. The more the truth comes out, the more we can straighten things out, I figure. So this energy, though, is talking about something about this pentacle energy. And I feel that it was maybe to do, this might be your grandparents or your, from both sides of your family, or it could be your great-grandparents. It could even be some energy about your parents. But yeah, I feel like definitely some communication coming in about this why were these people out in the cold? Like what happened here? And what was this dark night of the soul energy about, right? And why are your ancestors trying to communicate with you so strongly right now? Because that's the energy I'm picking up. And so this is about walking away from something that you love or someone that you love after putting a lot of energy and time and energy into it. So this is like about, this could represent 8 years. Sometimes this can represent walking away from a relationship because there was a third party energy involved. We've got like this person, you know, we've got 5 cups lined up, tung, 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 all nice and neat. Then we have 2 with a gap and this third cup. So sometimes it can represent a third party energy, and one of the people in the couple walked away because of it. We've got the full moon and the new moon in the background again saying, pay attention to your intuition. This is something, and so this, if it's not about love, this could be about a business that you love, and it could also be about possibly something that you love to do or be, or that your parents love to do or be. I mean, let's face it, back in World War II, there was a lot of people that were displaced, and there was a lot of wild energy happening then. And we have, and look at this, we have the 6 of Pentacles. So this does mean that, you know, it's in one, on the more positive side, it's saying plant seeds so that you can harvest them and improve your lifestyle. And this person, I mean, the 6 of Pentacles would be like an energy of maybe upper middle class energy. So he's got enough money to give to charity here, and he is giving to this person because he perceives this person is going to use it wisely and is going to benefit from it and will use it. This person, he has the scales of justice above the head, and because this person already has something in his pocket. So this person wants to use his money and risk his money instead of his own to do something. And he's like, no way, like, use your own money. And this, it can talk about this breadcrumbing energy, you know, from this out in the cold energy that we're seeing here. So this can be someone was breadcrumbed, and that's what's going on here. And this again, this is about learning the give and take also of life in general. Like, how much time, money, and energy are you willing to invest in someone, something, before you walk away? Basically, that's what this is saying. But I feel like it's also saying definitely someone was a grifter. And this is talking about breadcrumbing energy, wanting to use someone else's money, risking someone else's money instead of your own. And then we have the Magician here. And the Magician is talking about an energetic upgrade coming up. Once this, I feel once this energy is out in the open, like that, you know, whatever happened here, I feel like that's what this is saying. Use your intuition to try and the surrender is when you you let go and you quit thinking and you make your mind be quiet and you go into your heart and what are your authentic desires, and you feel instead of like overthinking it. And so this is an energetic upgrade, being able to use that energy in a real strong way. This is about bringing your thoughts down to earth to create a beautiful garden. You have all the tools that you need. You have 100% infinite potential to the power of infinity and beyond. The tools here, you just need to learn how to use them, and also which tool to use to get the best result from each tool. And you may have noticed, if you've ever had a garden, that if you leave tools laying around, rarely do they get up on their own and do the work for you. You pretty much have to put some energy into it. Now, we also have a Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so now this is interesting, because the Queen of Pentacles, she comes from generational wealth. This is someone that this is old money. So a legacy that is passed down from your children to your children's children. But the Queen of Pentacles is known for being very resourceful. She can make something out of nothing and is admired highly for that. This could be talking about energy, during the war when there was lack of food and everything. And a lot of the women had to step up and do a lot of the men's jobs. It was that, they were gone for a long time. And this energy can also be talking about, like, she prefers quality over quantity. So she is not going to be flashing her money around and buying designer this and that. She doesn't have anything to prove. But I'm always wondering, why is she being so resourceful if she comes from generational wealth? And I feel like it has something to do with this, energy from World War II. It's been coming up in the readings quite a bit, and that Uranus energy. We have 8 years to figure it out, though, so it feels like there's a truth a day coming through, just like, oh, you've got to be kidding. And look at, this is talking about to get out of this energy. I feel that they went into the church and they asked for, can we have some respite here? Because now this person is laying in the church and they've laid their mind to rest. And they're meditating and praying. And look at, they've hung their mind up on the wall here. That's what the swords represent. Swords in tarot represent your thoughts, your intellectual, like your mental intelligence, your intellectual ability, your discipline of your mind. And, we have your subconscious mind, and that's formed by the time you're about 6 or 7. And your subconscious mind is really the thoughts of the people that were in charge of raising you, because a baby sucks their environment in at such a high level. And, from the time you're a baby to about, 6, or when you start kindergarten, that's when most people start having an energy of being able to represent, they can represent that energy, or they can start remembering what was going on then. Whereas before that, a lot of the times it's pretty foggy. And we have to rely on the thoughts of others who are in charge of our care to tell us what we were like. Yet, when we get really upset or we have something happening to us, we have a tendency, when we get triggered, to rely on the subconscious mind, which is probably not the most reliable when you think of it from that perspective. And but it's so heavily imprinted on us. And so if there's fears or whatever from childhood, those can be heavily imprinted on us and cause us to make decisions that maybe we wouldn't make, if we weren't still holding on to those fears. Then we have the unconscious mind. And this is like, a lot of people will say, yes, I'm a soul, or a human being with a soul. But from the soul's perspective, you are a soul traveling in a human body as your vehicle for getting around. And if the soul's needs aren't met, it starts arguing with the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. And the conscious mind is, when you remember, I went to the store yesterday, I bought these 3 items, I paid for them, it cost this much money, I went home, I cooked supper, I watched TV, I went to bed. That, you can remember it and relate it. If you can get these 3 working together, and that's through meditation and prayer, getting them to, you should have control of your mind shouldn't have control of you, so that you are in this state where you are plugged into your heart's desires. And when you plug into that, then you're going after your authentic desires and satisfying all 3. And this is talking, the word Pax is P-A-X is on this window, and it's talking about, peace of mind. And look at, we have judgment being called. So here's some more angel energy coming through. Judgment is being called by the Most High on the spiritual realm, and that judgment is now going to come down to earth. So this is, the ancestors are just ecstatic. They're climbing out of their box. Yes, finally, justice is here. And we have them, the descendants, waving across the water here. And so this is talking about, quite often this energy, this could be something that was left over from your ancestors, that before they passed, they weren't able to get justice, or they weren't able to complete something or clean something up. And now it's left to the bloodline, to the descendants to clean it up. So this can be them waving back and forth to you, saying, thank you for everything you've done here, all your work of, going, climbing that mountain and conferring with God and all this meditation. It's finally justice is being served for our bloodline, and they're very happy. This can sometimes represent skeletons coming out of the closet, and it can represent sometimes even Pandora's box being opened. And then we have the Empress energy. The Empress, she is embodying the energy and the qualities of all four of the queens from the minor arcana. So we already see the Queen of Cups, and we see the Queen of Pentacles. So there's the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Wands so this sometimes can represent that energy of her journey to, all the life experience that she's had, whatever she's gone through, that now she has reached this Empress energy. It's kind of like a status thing in tarot, saying, hey, you've stayed on your path, even though all these difficulties have happened. And she's considered to be pregnant with possibility. So this energy is talking about that, being in the flow, being a powerful manifester. And we also have the star energy. So we have the galactic star energy as well as the temperance energy. This could be representing these two soul energies coming together. One's more galactic and one's more earth. Or they're half and half of both, because this is representing a real balance in masculine and feminine energy within each of them. And then, so it's not like they complete each other. They're both like complete within themselves and can stand on their own. They just prefer to hang out with each other because they enjoy each other's company. And this is talking about the same type of energy, pouring your own special qualities into the universal pool. This is representing the North Star energy. So it's again talking about, here when the hermit goes up to the mountain and gets the information and then pouring that out onto earth. And you'll notice that there's 5 streams coming out of here. And those 5 streams represent the 5 points on the pentacles, the pentacle energy. And this is talking about, bringing those qualities down to earth. Just like she's growing flowers, this is bringing that special quality down to earth and making the earth a better place. Very cool energy. And then we have the 3 of Pentacles, which is talking about being in an elevated position, mastering your skill set, and also wanting to, others wanting to collaborate with you. In the context of the World War II energy, I feel like it keeps coming up in this energy. If something from the dark night of the soul happened, maybe it could have been all that energy of people in the resistance and that type of energy. I feel sometimes this can represent secret society, but I feel like this might have been, this in this case, because I keep picking up this energy from World War II. And I feel like there's something that happened, and there was some sort of, freedom fighters, that type of energy in the background. So it could be representing that type of energy, and they would collaborate with different people to be able to secretly sneak people in and out of countries, that type of energy. I'm really picking that up for this energy here. And then we you have to have a lot of courage if you're doing that, man. That is like scary business back then. So this is about having the strength and the courage to really dig deep into your fears and be able to, really be brave. to be, you know, like willing to take that risk for yourself. That's a huge thing. And so this is talking about this young woman reaching deep into this lion's mouth. This is a mature male lion, so that would be very dangerous. And so would this. This would be very dangerous too. But a lot of people's lives were saved because of this. And this here is talking about having the strength, and the lion is being submissive. It's a full-grown male lion, but it's letting her do this because she's so determined. Wow, that's really, I'm getting goosebumps. And then we have, look at that, the 10 of Pentacles energy. So what's that? That's like having the perfect lifestyle. Like, I feel like that's talking about the freedom that happened after that because of all the work in the background that people were doing. Everybody had to be so courageous. And maybe that's what it's saying at this time. We all need to remember all the sacrifices that our grandparents and great-grandparents and that our parents have made, you know, depending on what age we are, to be able to fight for freedom for the planet, basically. That's the energy I feel. Really, really beautiful energy. So this is, you know, so that people could have, like, this is the best lifestyle that you can have in a perfectly imperfect world. And so I do feel that's what this energy is kind of about. I just feel like I'm almost like feeling that, just that like just seeing a bunch of movies, like, you know, from back in the black and white movies from that time. Wow, like a lot of wild energy. So this is talking about soulmates meeting. And this can be talking about walking away from something you love. And look at that. Like, if this is talking about that energy back then, how many people had to walk away from their families and what they love? And then and then wondering how are they getting by? How are they getting by without me there to be there to protect them? You know, that's a pretty wild energy. And then this is talking about being you know, in that, adding your own special qualities to that energy for the freedom. Wow. And then having the strength and the courage and the ancestors, like honoring that, like how brave they were, you know, to be able to do that for us, you know, like the sacrifices they made so that we would be free people. And yeah, this is about, you know, meditating on that. Like, I feel like they're trying to tell us something. You know, we have to be brave at this time. We have to we have to make sure it's our job now to make sure that the generations coming after us, that we leave a better world for them than, you know, like they did for us. They did their best for us. We need to do our best for them. There's a lot of people feeling isolation and that right now. So there's a lot of wild energy out there. But I feel like this is just, you know, really, like, it's just so special, this reading. It's talking about how much love our ancestors have for us. And, like, you know, you can imagine when they were young and then all of a sudden all of this started happening, like how it just disrupted, you know, their world. Like they were enthusiastic and like looking forward to moving forward in a strong way, and then all this war happening, and it lasted, like, you know, for so long. Wow, it was hard. Yeah, so, like, I guess this is saying life can be hard. But so this energy, you know, if you're leaving the reading here, thank you for your time and energy. And any likes and comments, I really, really appreciate them. It helps me build my channel. Consider subscribing. I'd be honored if you did so. And now I'm going to clarify with my oracle and just see here. This is such a beautiful reading. I really love it. Like, I can just feel the love that our ancestors are sending us. You know, stay strong. You come from you come from strong stock. You can do it, you know. We have this energy here. Okay, so this oracle is Tales from the Vector. It's something I started in 2007. In 2020, I completed all 64 paintings. This is talking about The numbers on these cards are the paintings as they're listed on my website, talesfromthevector.com. This is courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. You can check it out if you want to. I put the numbers of these numbers are representing the paintings in the order in the gallery. And you can check it out if you want to, and I'll put them in the order they appear here so you know which paintings to look for. So we have the transition coming in, yeah, if the soulmate energy is coming towards you now, it was an agreement at a certain point that you would meet when you both reached a certain point in your journey. And then we have the Emperor energy, which is matching where is the Empress? Here she is right here. So I feel that this is Emperor and Empress energy, and maybe that's the energy is you have to match to be able to, for the soulmates to come together. And if this is saying one's an Emperor and now one's an Empress, cool. The Gemini, I feel like that's Uranus causing, like this is really, the truth coming out. Like every day we have another truth coming out. A truth a day keeps the devil at bay. We have the Hierophant energy. And so this is again, the Hierophant's really been coming out in the readings as well. The Hierophant is talking about justice coming from the spiritual down to the physical realm. It can talk about different, religions. If you're a religious person, the leaders of those religions. And then it can also talk about meditation and prayer and connecting with source energy that way. And then that coming down and being the justice coming through the legal systems and, the laws of the countries of the world. And we have the Trauma Queen energy. So yeah, life's a slice, hold the drama. Yeah, there's a lot of, it's talking about that energy back then and how we're in some pretty interesting times as well right now. So this is talking about them saying, hey, you come from strong, I can keep hearing that, you come from really strong stock. You can handle this. You're not here by accident. It is a very dramatic time, but you can do this. So that's the energy. Libra energy is when you're a mature adult and you're able to move into that. And it's interesting because we do have Libra, this Venus, Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus and Jupiter are moving into the sign of Cancer for one day on June 9th. And that energy is, a lot of the astrologers are saying this is the most lucky day of the year. And some are saying of the decade in matters of love and money. And look at this. We have the soulmate energy coming in, and we also have the Ten of Pentacles, which at the very top here, which is the most you can have, the best lifestyle. And also we have our ancestors coming through, egging us on here. So this is really beautiful energy. We have anger. So this is about, sometimes people use anger to motivate them. And, the problem is that anger can be passed down from one generation to the other. And it's sitting on this King of Cups energy. So there might be something that comes out with this energy coming through here. And what's really interesting? I don't see any aces in this reading. So this isn't new energy. This is talking about history. I really feel that. This is talking about history. And so, yeah, there was a lot of anger back then in World War II, and people use that to motivate themselves, but you don't want to pass that down from one generation to the next because it's just the gift that keeps on giving. Angry people raise angry people, and basically, I feel this is saying anger is not the answer. It's been said so many times in this reading here. The underlying energy, like keep your emotions in check, use your temperance, like it's coming from every angle. The world is changing. It's definitely, that's the energy coming in. There is a lot of change in the world. It's not your imagination. And it's, but like this, it's changing in it can be scary, but it always is changing. The world always has been changing. Change is the one thing that we can count on for sure, besides death and taxes, actually. And so the change, it's saying that you can handle it. And the world, this is talking about the end of a cycle and a new one beginning. So very much talking about that energy, talking about the high priestess who sits in between the two extremes. And she's joyful because she uses her intuition as well as her logic to come to creative solutions. And I do feel that this is definitely a time of creative solutions. We have the shooting star energy. So that goes back to this energy where he's on the stage. Like if you're wishing for something, it means you don't have it yet. So this is talking about if you wish upon a star, you don't want to just sit there. You have to participate in your future if you want to have a good, strong future. And then we have the sun at the top here. So I really feel like this is really saying, hey, our ancestors are with us. God is with us. This is part of the plan. Calm down. There's a lot going on. There's a lot, like we might all personally have some challenging times that we're going through right now. There's a lot happening on the planet. And this is saying, remember that you come from real strong stock, or you wouldn't be here after what they went through back then. You wouldn't be here if they weren't so strong. So yeah, wow. This is really a beautiful reading. I really enjoyed it. I do hope you have as well. Once again, thank you so much for your likes, comments, and consider subscribing if you resonate. I would be honored if you did so. I'll be back with another tattletale for you tomorrow. Bye for now.